It's like, don't ever
Okay, that. But what is it? Is it like chicken strips?
Like, what do I eat?
What are your,
of cereal.
Okay.
Like,
What's your go-to cereal?
The Special K Chocolatey Delight mixed with the chocolate Chex.
I love that you mix them, because I'm a mixer too.
Yeah, with almond milk. I don't do regular milk.
Yeah.
I've been recording. Just video.
But you don't even have you need to adjust that camera.
Why?
It's just me.
Well, when I get in here, it'll zoom out.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll adjust. All right, here we go. I did not.
I love that you use this like all the time now.
Well, hey, I did not bring the ukulele. So, here we go.
Home slice!
Woo! All right. They've been even better.
I even had spirit fingers.
Yeah. For those of you, did I say those of you? Those of you. Whiskey.
I got some feedback about...
Well, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
For those of you Patreon fans, we'll be getting, since I'm not catching up or keeping up with posting the video, you become a Patreon fan, then you can have access to the video somehow.
Maybe if you pay us, we'll actually be consistent at posting shit.
There we go. That's your motivation and ours. Yours as in the audience.
Right.
Should I start this whole thing over?
No. Well, I was just going to say, we got some feedback on our really good accents from the last episode.
Oh, gosh. What were our accents even?
So apparently every time I try any accent whatsoever, I sound like Borat.
I can see that.
I can't remember what she said yours sounded like. I'm trying to look it up.
I can't remember. Oh, we were trying Italian. That's right.
Yeah, you had your.
Yeah. I worked on. Oh yeah, you just go straight to Mario, and then you can.
Well, apparently you did not sound like Mario whatsoever.
Oh, I was going for Waluigi.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't sound like
Waluigi.
That's not the response that I got either.
Okay.
So this was from Nikki.
Mm-hmm.
So we had her on the podcast a
while
back, and basically I think she sent it to me on Instagram, but all we do is send Instagram videos back and forth to each other, so I can't find it because it's just a whole shit ton of videos. So there's seriously we do 12 a day, I feel.
Sending, you record your own videos and send back to each other?
Like reels. We find funny reels and we just send them to each other. Well.
So what are we doing right now? I'm waiting on you to find.
I'm trying to figure out what she said that
what you sounded like.
I can't talk and do this at the same time.
I'm
really bad multitasker.
Right.
I'm a really bad solo tasker.
All right. Well, we have Brooke Bradford in the studio today.
James.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And Brooke came on today to sit here and talk with us. No, nothing specific to
update.
But I think while Sydney's scrolling through here, I think to help with our musical introduction, which was fine, no offense, but it was still lacking a little bit.
Irish.
Just because of Irish. Oh yeah, that's about the only accent I really do. Yeah.
Top of the morning too. Yeah.
I've tried Russian and it filters back to Irish.
Hey, we're good at what we're good at.
Spanish. Even if I go with a little Latino accent, it sounds Irish.
I was gonna say, I don't think you have the Latino one down. You're more of the European accent,
right?
Not South America.
Thank you. I guess. Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that a compliment or is it just stating my limitations?
Well, you can do some accents. At least you're not just stuck in America.
Can you do any accents?
I will say, sometimes I feel like if I'm talking to someone with a southern accent, occasionally my words will start slipping out with the same accent.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just because I don't think I have an accent, but maybe just growing up in southeastern Indiana, you hear it a lot more.
Yeah.
So then, you fall back into it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have an accidental Jersey accent once in a while. Every once in a while, I'll be talking about, for example, Batman is a great word to do. It's Batman. It'll come out like that
Batman.
instead of Batman, it's Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what?
Is that not more Wisconsin, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know why I would have it. Because we have zero ties to Wisconsin and we have zero ties to Jersey.
When you say Wisconsin, you sound like you're from New Jersey.
Wisconsin?
Well, not that time.
Wisconsin?
Yeah.
I feel like our accent is just nothing. Like
Midwest, welcome to the Midwest. We are the vanilla.
Until you go,
especially like
to the
Indiana.
West Coast.
I feel like we're like, because once you start getting up towards like, do I sound bad right now?
No.
If I get up towards like Wisconsin and Minnesota, it's like Minnesota, the Coca-Cola, all that stuff.
Canadian.
Yeah. Hey.
Here's my thought about like this area, because Sarah, my wife, is from this area.
Okay.
And really, I feel like they have no accent. Really.
Yeah.
Sometimes there'll be a little tinge of southernness, but it just gets washed out by the time you get up here. Like once you start getting to Indianapolis and then even further north. Mm-hmm. But once you get south of Indianapolis, and even around Indianapolis, like it gets thicker and thicker and thicker.
I do have a friend that has like
Kentucky.
More of a southern accent. Like very Indiana, but I think he spent some time in Tennessee when he was little.
Do it.
Yeah, so he kind of has a twang.
Yeah, once you get down there, I mean, it is so thick. Like,
yeah.
You go into like a Cracker Barrel is like just stepping back in time and listen, like people still talk like this. But so I'm going to continue off my theory because I've given it a long thought at one point in my life.
Okay.
So in the southern Indiana, that mostly like back in the day when people were starting to migrate around here, the southern part they were coming up from Kentucky. In the middle section, like Indianapolis and such, they were coming from the east, and those are mainly. I
like how you were trying to figure out your
I was looking at the map
and then, but you also did it like bigger. So it's like everybody knew that you were having issues with direction.
So coming from that side, that's like Protestant and stuff, from that area, and more European. Is French European?
Excuse you.
That was not me. That was Brooke.
No, I'm just saying, like European. I am not. Then, French is European.
Okay, well then, let's say more like Protestant. I don't know, but anyway, the northern. I'm getting there. The northern part of Indiana.
Loop it around.
They were migrating down from Canada, which was mainly French, territory.
Oh, true.
And so that's why it's as the regions go up, the accents kind of change. I want to say not drastically,
Frenchified.
but like it gets filtered down to nothing.
And honestly, that makes sense because if you're going to like northern Michigan, like around Traverse City, there's a lot of different like wineries or bed and breakfasts that's like chateau blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say,
just like that.
Michigan people, I feel like have a different accent than Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it's different.
It gets more nasally.
I feel like,
or I don't know.
That didn't like-
you just talk like this. You put
I
up.
think
I don't know what
you're-
that was.
that
was
kind of like
Irishman with a cold.
I think you're just projecting
Yeah.
like, maybe people that you know from Michigan.
Ah!
Sound like that.
Yeah, well, that's how you do it,
know.
right? Yeah.
maybe like, but talk about like all the weird
Do I sound
accents.
like somebody you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody we both know. Yeah.
I feel like I'm on the outside of it, inside.
Oh, I was doing a Michigan accent, and basically, whenever I do it, I sound like someone in particular. Is it who you're thinking? Start with a J.
Yeah.
Okay. And when I do it, I don't try and sound like him, but I sound just like him. Yeah. And so.
We'll tell you.
Well, you don't have to know the person.
I feel like you can pass me a no. I want to know.
Well, it starts with J, ends with F, and has 4 letters. Not that it matters. I mean, it's just a name.
I know.
But it
No, I
sounds
want to
like,
know like the whole story though. I
oh
don't.
no,
Anyways.
it's not just so maybe both know that I happen to sound like when I do the accent. You know what I'm saying?
fine.
But
like,
I only know like 4 people from Michigan,
So yeah.
But like, you know how crazy it is when like people who are from England talk about the different regions. I mean, England is like what, the size of Indiana, and they have like 12 different, very distinctive accents.
That is true.
Like, I want to know why that is, because I mean, there's even different like Scottish accents too.
I think that's more like that's a longer, richer history, and so you know, back in the whenevers, let's say 1500s, I guess. I mean, it dates clear back to. I'm not going to make up numbers, but
please do.
it dates clear back to I think 1100.
Okay, BC.
No, yes, no, AD. And so you know, they're little pockets that are fairly now they're considered close to each other, but back then travel was hard.
That's true.
Lots of mountainous areas, kind of
Big
hard
old
to trek.
lakes.
You get so isolated, and you develop your own,
Village.
language, your own way of speaking to each other. And here, by the time we settled here, you know, we were able to
We're all
move.
mushed
We were
together
like,
more.
yeah, we were kind of.
Really colonized quickly.
We were trying to expand quickly.
Well, that was the one thing that I found super, super weird. Because Eric and I went to Scotland, this was a long time ago now. But we did this, like, church tour of the super, old as fuck church, right? And we get, this guy's walking us through, and basically, like, we don't realize when we go other places that's, like, we think that we don't have an accent, but then you go to a place like that, and you are the special one with an accent.
Yeah.
And so this guy knows that we're, like, the only Americans in this little tour. And he's like, oh, so the crown of this church, which is, like, the fancy stonework from up top. He's like, this was completed in 1492. And he's like, that's when Christopher Columbus discovered your country. I was like...
And they all, like, had a little giggle to each
I was like,
other.
fuck you guys! But
yeah.
I knew you'd appreciate that one.
Yeah, I did. Have you ever... So that was your time of, like, feeling singled
Out
out
of place.
because of your accent.
Yeah.
Have you had other times?
I think that same trip... So we did like a big kind of whirlwind tour. Like we backpacked for 2 weeks over in Europe. So we stopped. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Before kids, of course, because we
That'd
had money then.
Yeah.
Feel that.
But so
Money and time.
yeah. So we flew into Dublin. We went to Northern Ireland.
Dublin. I just
yeah.
love Dublin. That's the way it sounds and when it rolls off your
That was
cheeks.
like the best place ever. Like we had a cab driver that was talking to us about like how childbirth is over there. It's like, you get a Guinness when you're in the hospital. They need to get your iron back up, so they give you a beer. It's like, fuck, I was born in the wrong place.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But anyways, so we went to Northern Ireland, and then we took a ferry to Scotland, and then I rented a car because we're still cheapos. I was like, I can drive a stick. That's cheaper to rent. I'll just drive a stick. No, you're driving a stick on the opposite side of the car, on the opposite side of the road.
Yeah, that's right.
But the shift is the same pattern as what it is here.
Okay.
So, first gear is closest to the driver in America.
Yeah.
Right? But then when you're over there, like, first is furthest away from you. So I feel like if that was mirrored too, it would have been a lot easier. And the pedals are also in the same place.
Oh, God, that helps.
Yeah, so you're
that
all
would've been
messed
really-
up. Nobody, when we rented this car, I mean, clearly I have an accent to them. So nobody told me, like, hey, just so you know, like, our speed limits actually are miles per hour, not kilometers per hour. So I'm like a fucking slug on the wrong side of the road. Like, and the roads are more narrow, so you're like passing semis, and there's like this old ass stone fence like right there, and I'm like, you're trying to suck in, but you're like, you're in a car, you can't. So Eric and I had to come up with this like teamwork thing. It's like I would tell him when I was gonna shift and what number he needed to put it in.
Nice.
So it's like, all right, go, and then he'd also be like, when you turn, make sure that you stay closer to this side because you're driving on the American side of the road again. It's like, oh shoot. So it was horrifying.
Oh my gosh.
So never do that again. But
a hell of a story.
Yeah. I feel like you think that like all of Europe you drive on the wrong side of the road. It's only the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the point of that?
Oh,
To confuse
I had this
everybody.
conversation once. I cannot remember.
And what's with
I looked
why
it up.
the cars? Why are the cars different?
Well, the cars
like
are
it.
different because of what side of the road they're driving on. Because you want the driver to
be towards the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other
I don't
than
know.
that, why they started it? Oh my god! I know I looked it up one time. I can't
Was it
remember.
a military thing?
I don't think so.
Ooh,
It had
what if,
something to
what
do
if
with like
America decided to be different just so that like the
Well-
English soldiers couldn't like hijack one of our cars because they would
and
have a
get away.
harder time?
Right? Oh man, that would be genius.
I know.
But I don't think
the one
I think it was
smart thing
something so
America's
simple.
done.
Didn't we make cars first?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
Ford.
but they
Come
still
on, America.
you still had like a horse and buggy crossing each other.
Oh.
You know.
They
So
do love their
it goes
roundabouts
back to
over
like
there, too.
way back then. You know, just like what
Proper
was the
etiquette.
tradition in that area, and I cannot remember what and why.
I feel like you're just pretending to know stuff that you don't know.
I'm
I
pretending.
have a
I know
quick
that I
thing
looked it up. I don't know if I ever
With
figured it out.
horse and carriages. You said you're up from like northern Indiana?
Oh yeah, horse and buggies everywhere.
That's
Poop
what-
all over the road.
Okay, yes. I went to visit my friend once who lives up close to Mishawaka, and
Okay.
it was like the craziest thing I've ever seen.
It's like
I was
you're-
just like, what? Why are so many horses?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, we
And
went
they
to the-
drive so stupid.
Mhm. We went to the grocery store, and there's literally like a little pole thing that you could like hook your horse up to while you go into the store. I felt like I was in the olden
Yeah.
days.
So like the Walmart that we grew up going to was in a place called Goshen. So Goshen,
Yes, I know it.
Elkhart, and South Bend have all kind of grown up to be in one big city essentially. So whereas here there's, plugins for a Tesla, there it's just like an area with some shade and a horse
For the
and like
horses.
poles to be able to tie up your horses.
Crazy.
Yeah, so it's real weird.
All right, so I have some vague answers. I don't think it makes sense, but they said that they started driving on the left side. No.
For shits
I'm not
and
even reading.
giggles.
No, it's basically like they just made a law. Everybody's driving on the left side, and
We're gonna be different.
I don't. And yeah, it doesn't make sense. See, this is probably how far I got last time.
Yeah, because okay, so we drove from that, I think it was like Ayr, AYR, and then we drove across to Edinburgh, which is like a 3-hour drive. Stayed in there for a few days, and that's when we went to the church and got totally like smack talked by this old ass tour guide, right? And then, but like we also met some really cool people too. So I don't want to make people sound like when you travel, everybody's going to be a dick.
Oh no.
But
Don't
Yeah,
go.
I get
Right.
it. You gotta, when you go anywhere like that, yeah, you're gonna get a little
there's
teasing
stigma
and
of some type. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing. It's just like working in a factory. You give it back, and then they know that like you're cool.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
So, and one of our favorite things too, we've always done this, no matter if we're home or traveling. But if you want to get the scoop on anything, go to a bar and sit at the bar, because then you can just like shoot the shit with the bartender, and
Yeah.
they'll tell you everything. Or like, one time we went to St. Louis and we wanted to go to this restaurant, and there was like an hour wait, so we just kind of snuck in the door and was just talking to the host the whole time. He gave us so many different places to go to, and then he's like, "Oh, it's your birthday shots," and
Yeah.
like you get taken care of if you can talk to people.
Yeah, for sure. That's my favorite way. Like going
Yeah.
anywhere is just finding somebody that's cool and being
Yeah.
like, "What would you do?"
Yeah,
And they're
it's like I
"This is
don't
what
want to
would
do. I don't want to do like what the tourists do. I want you to tell me what's cool,
Yes.
and then usually they tell you what's really cool.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll do some of the touristy stuff. Don't get me wrong, but. Anyways, so then, so my
That was
German
the
friend
first like
Inken.
little silence.
I know.
It was weird.
Yeah.
But
I mean, at least it was quick, right?
it was quick.
So then,
No, I enjoyed it.
Let's do just a moment of silence. Okay, continue. That was too long.
Deep breaths are important
Yeah.
sometimes.
I think I'm the only one that didn't actually take a deep breath.
You
I
were
just like was
raring to
quiet.
go.
I was like,
You're like holding your breath.
I really want to tell this
Waiting.
story.
Like,
I'm
stop.
halfway through the damn trip.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Hey, wait, one more.
Son of a bitch! I'm gonna punt you like you did that camera. So then we flew from Edinburgh.
Wait, before you keep going.
Oh! No.
Did you ever... I have to get this in.
I fucking
or else
hate
it won't
you.
make sense.
I
You said
fucking
punt.
hate you. Punt.
Yeah.
I punt my
Did you
kids.
ever-
I punt the dog.
Did you ever hear
No, not really.
hear about that letter that the sorority, like I think she was a sorority president, wrote to her other sorority friends? And it was read by this actor who was like...
I have no
he's like
idea
a
what you're
really
talking
serious actor. Well, anyway, she's just telling the girls how they need to step it up, and it is hilarious, like how she puts them down and everything. She even says one point in there, "Can I say the C word with us?"
I would love it if you did.
Okay, Brooke. Okay. Well, she just says, I can't remember. It's been so long since I listened to it, but she says something to
Well,
the
let me
point
quote
if they
this.
don't do something, she's gonna punt them.
I
And
love
I'm
that.
stuck with these. So every time I hear punt, I can't stop.
Cunt punt.
Yeah, and this is like the only place I feel safe to tell people about that.
So
Go
I'm really sorry if that
Well, not
offends
to
any of you.
internet where everyone could hear it.
ahead.
Yeah, I like how we're like having this private conversation that we then broadcast.
It doesn't. For some reason, it doesn't feel like it counts.
So okay,
Pass.
so then we flew from Edinburgh to Germany. I think we flew into Bremen that time, and then Inken, my Hamburg friend, she came and picked us up. And what was so funny is like we had been in the UK driving on the opposite side. I assumed that it was all of Europe that drives on the stupid side, and then we get to Germany, and I'm like basically going into what I think is the passenger seat. She's like, "What are you driving?" I was like, "Not planning on it. Why?" She's like, "'Cause you're trying to drive." I'm like, "Oh no."
Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay, I will never get this confused again.
Well, don't they do like a switch there too? Like the roads when you're crossing over, you're
Some
driving on.
places, yeah.
Yeah, at what point, like, if you're traveling from somewhere that drives on the left side and then it switches to the right, like...
How are we supposed
Be
to know?
ready.
How
So-
do they allow us to, like, here's my U.S. driver's license
That's
that we
true.
aren't tested on any of this shit?
That's true.
How are you allowing me to rent a car?
Yeah.
Because I am a liability.
Well, and
Like-
then we find ourselves getting upset at foreign drivers around here. Don't you feel
Hey.
kind of bad?
I'm sorry. They drive into subways. Like, which, I mean, the restaurant, not the subway. 'Cause we're not that big. But, like,
Someone about crunched me just today in a roundabout on campus when I got my Starbucks. I was like,
Yeah.
you guys aren't using this correctly. Like, they just came from the outside lane and kept going over when I was
there
going
are
straight.
clear signs that tell you
Yeah.
where you can
I feel
exit
like
and what
a
lane you
lot
need to
of
be
people
into.
don't really get it yet. The whole
The
roundabout.
ones
No.
about Indy that are like figure 8 ones.
Oh, those are gross, man.
Those are like my butt puckers every time I have to do one. It's like, anyways, so then we went to Hamburg. We partied in Hamburg for a while. Donors. Anyways, those are like really good sandwiches.
No, okay.
Eric like dreams of them, and of course we don't have them here, which is like the simplest
I
thing.
was gonna say, what makes them so
It's
special?
kind of like a gyro on different bread.
Okay.
So it's kind of like the spit cooked thing that they shave it off and make really, really good. I don't know. Like anytime we go to Germany, it's like we have to eat that like at least 3 times.
It sounds
if not
delicious.
more. They're delightful.
I like. Is it gyro or gyro or
Gyro.
Gyro. It's neither
Yeah,
of my first
gyro.
2 choices.
I
Yeah,
don't
like
know if I've ever
calendar
eaten
year.
one
Oh,
of the...
Gyro.
yeah.
Gyro.
Acropolis is actually pretty good.
I've seen the sign. I just don't venture
You
out
just keep
much.
going.
It is
I
good.
mean,
I like
you like your
cucumber
chicken
sauce.
fingers. No.
Yeah.
I like my cucumber sauce on it. Isn't that what it is?
Tzatziki. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called tzatziki, but it's basically
Tzatziki?
yeah.
Why do I sound like a little
You just
girl
can't
when I
pronounce
say
it.
tzatziki? Can I have some tzatziki on there?
Tzatziki. No.
Yeah. Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
like we just get squeakier and squeakier every time. But yeah, so then we flew to Paris and we had 24 hours in Paris basically.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't want to be there. We wanted to be in Normandy. So, but we didn't like by the time our flight got there, it was so late in the day, we had to spend the night and then our train didn't leave until like noon. So it was like a whirlwind 24 hours.
Yeah.
But that was right. Son of a bitch. You moved it like right in my way too.
No.
It's like you get it out of
Oh,
here.
you're
No,
right.
you moved it here. So now I have these two that I keep
wondered.
like taking turns and. If you guys, I know you guys can't see this, even on. I don't even think you can see it on that. if Chris were to even post it. But they're like these headphone holders that you can fold up, and then they don't latch very well, and Chris took his to get it out of his way because they're a pain in the ass, and then he just puts it in my way. So now I'm just having a party. Anyway,
with your pants, because your pants are hitting them.
It's true. A party with my pants, not in my pants, to clarify. But okay, so we were in Paris maybe like a month or two after they had that big shooting at the concert. So we were really like nervous to be there. We had no interest in being like the touristy Parisian things. Like, we saw the Eiffel Tower from like a faraway way. That was good enough. Yeah. We walked by the Louvre. That was fine. Like, outside the thing is like that big.
The Louvre?
Yeah, we walked by.
Isn't most of the stuff inside?
Yeah. Did we want to see the Mona Lisa? No. Like, we didn't care. But we saw like the little glass pyramid things. Yeah. Good enough. And then there's that like gate that's really popular. And we're like, oh, cool, whatever.
What gate?
I don't know. I think it's called a gate, but it has like a guy on a horse with a chariot on top.
Okay. On top of him?
The
guy is on a horse holding a chariot up?
Yeah, no, the horse is on the guy, and then the chariot's on top.
Wait, seriously? Okay.
Like, trying to
that sounds backwards.
No wonder they fell.
No wonder it's so popular, because it's so weird. But yeah, so then there's like these, I think they were like Middle Eastern people, but they were like trying to get you to sign some petition. And then when you sign the petition, they're trying to get you to donate money. And at the time I was wearing like a crossbody purse. And so the guy I told him, I was like, I can sign your thing, but I don't have any money to give you. He grabbed my purse and is like yanking me around. And like, so Eric and I were separated because some other person was trying to talk to him to get him to sign and give money. But a girl was talking to Eric, a guy approached me, and then he starts grabbing my purse.
Oh, that sounds like a scam to me. Like, let's split these two up. Girl got the guy.
I started screaming, and I don't cuss people out, ever. This was the first guy, and I think the only guy I've ever cussed out in my entire life. And I'm like, you need to get the fuck away from me. Nice. And then he starts, like, probably cussing me out in whatever language. But it's like, all of this stuff just happened here. Like, I've seen Taken. Yeah, hell no.
Yeah. I have skills. Bitch.
A special set of skills.
Yeah, so.
But I mean, there's police.
Tzatziki. Okay.
I'm gonna squirt some tzatziki in your face. No. But there's cops walking around Paris in full riot gear. So they have like their automatic rifles strapped to them. They have the shields. They have like it was like a SWAT team walking around town. And it's like, I don't know if I feel super safe or super unsafe. Mm-hmm. But, and then ironically, like, the place that we had dinner at, like, we got in late. So, like, the places that we would want to have tried that are actual, like, French places were closed.
So, where'd you go?
We went to an Italian restaurant. But I will tell you... I thought you were going to say
McDonald's or something.
McDonald's popped in my head. But
we're not that bad.
Yeah, I was like, no way.
Yeah, there was, like, some, like, super late, like, street restaurant thing, because they eat outside all the time, so the restaurant inside the building is like tiny, but then they take up half the street, and if it's cold they'll just add those like heaters and then put a tent over it.
Nice.
That's what LA's like.
Yeah,
well, I mean, it stays a little bit more temperate in LA than France, but yeah, so that was like so weird, but it's like it was the best pizza I've ever had, and also like whatever shitty wine they thought they were serving us was delightful.
Right.
But yeah,
makes me want to go.
Then we took a train from Paris to Normandy, and we were actually terrified that everybody in France was gonna like shit on us because we were American. Mm-hmm. They were so nice. Like, we got so lost all the time because like buses and trains and all of those schedules are so confusing anyways, and then you throw in like no English.
Right.
And all these people are like, oh, haha, my American is like so bad. I was like, actually, like I understood everything you said.
You're like, because I practice that accent all the time.
I know. So that's the only French accent I have is.
You want to get on the train?
But like, there was like two people that are like, my English is really bad. I was like, it's actually a lot better than you think it is, you fucking perfectionist. But then. So we get to Normandy, like nobody speaks any English out there. So what do? I just talk louder.
Did it work?
No!
Ah.
But, like, and what's weird is at the time, so this was before Brexit happened, too.
Yeah.
So, like, the UK and all of, like, Europe right there is part of the European Union. So you can travel without having to go through customs in between places. So when we flew to Germany, didn't have to go through customs. When we flew from Germany to France, we didn't have to go through customs. And so then when we were leaving France to go back to England, like, they're... okay, I lied. That was right after Brexit happened. So going from Germany to France, no big deal. Going from France back to the UK, they're like, why didn't you get a stamp when you came here? I'm like, I don't know. But they didn't know English. They didn't know English either. And I'm like, and they're like, fuck them, whatever. They're leaving, so it's fine. I'll just stamp it on the way out.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so I'm like...
Did you do the,
No, that's Italy.
Okay. What is this?
Gondola.
Gondola.
That's a very, like,
God,
Florence,
she knew
Italy
right
thing.
I don't even know what you're
Could have been
So
churning
the really
butter
long,
side
like, romantic boats with the guy in the front
And,
with the
like,
big
the little-
stick. Yeah. They're dressed like mimes, I think,
Right.
aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like the number one thing I think of when going over there.
Yeah.
Is something.
Actually, I think I have some friends that are over there now. I need to make sure that they do it, which they probably have done it like 3 times already.
But that would just be in, what's the name of that?
Florence, Italy.
Is that Florence where they have all the water?
The water, Florence.
It was in Spider-Man.
Stop it!
Maybe?
It was in the Italian
Far From
Job.
Home. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Glad we got that
Florence.
settled.
Watertown.
Yeah.
Flow. You go with the flow.
Isn't it getting?
Water. I don't know.
Isn't
I'm
it
just making
sinking
this
more
up.
and more?
I'm very
every
confident
year?
about it, though, right?
I believe it.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
What?
It's sinking more and more and more over the
Every
years.
year.
So they've been putting like little border things up to keep the water at the appropriate level. Anyways,
Where's the water coming from? Is it
the
man-made?
ocean. I don't know.
It's on the Mediterranean, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever
Danube?
worry
I don't know.
about sometimes like we cross into subjects that we have no knowledge of, and
I think our listeners are so few that for one, they don't care.
Yeah.
2, they think we're probably right. And 3, they're not going to sue us if we're not correct.
yeah, and I like to think there's a fourth one where they always know more than we do, and they'll let us know if we're wrong or if we.
And guess what? We have not
Should stop
gotten any emails yet, except for how bad our accents are.
Oh, okay. Well, then we should get
Perfect.
more emails after this one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fact check us.
Right? So then the next place we went to was, where was that? I can't remember the name of the city, but it was like, I was really into watching Downton Abbey at the time because I'm like an 80-year-old in like a 30-year-old body.
We watched it too.
Okay.
At its height, yes.
So, that castle is actually pretty close to Stonehenge, which is another place that I wanted to just see for fun to check it off the list. So, the Airbnb that we stayed at, we got in late again because shit happens and driving on the wrong side of the road is really hard. So we stopped at this pub for dinner. It was super late. Stopped at this pub, and a lot of pubs over there are like boarding houses. So it's like a restaurant down below, but then they have like 8 rooms upstairs that you could rent.
I love that.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's very like the Shire-y,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But anyways, so went to this pub. They're like, oh no, like the kitchen's actually closed, but let me scrape together what I can find. So they basically brought us this big ass charcuterie board because they felt so bad for us. And then they're like, oh, you guys have accents. Where are you from? Tell me everything. So we became like the popular people in this pub.
Awesome.
And everybody's talking to us. And they're like, why are you here? Oh, it was Hungerford. That was the name of the place.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't know, it was close to some other places that we were going. And they're like, oh, the only thing we're popular for is apparently the Hungerford Massacre. So, like, I Googled it later, and some, like, crazy person murdered, like, 8 people.
Oh.
And that's what they're known for. I was like, I don't think that was as popular as you guys thought it was. Because I've never heard of it.
Friends over here, so.
Right.
I
Yeah.
know.
I'm
So,
looking it up.
like... Yeah, so then they were asking us our plans and everything. It was like, oh yeah, so tomorrow we're going to go to Stonehenge. And they're like, no. Don't go to Stonehenge. There's like a gate like 60 feet out. You can't even get close to the stones. go to this other little town, and you can, like, drive up and park and touch the stones. And it's basically, I think it was called Avebury. And it's, like, nicknamed the town inside the stones. Mm-hmm. So there's those, like, Stonehenge type of things everywhere. There's hundreds of them. And this one, it's, like, seriously, like, these little roads. And you just start seeing them as you get closer. And then they're everywhere. But
Are they usually up on an elevated space, or?
I mean, I didn't pay that close of attention.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Go on.
But, but like, what's weird is, like, the farmers there, they don't own their own land. Like, you rent the Queen's land. So, like, all of these, like, fields that have, like, sheep and stuff, like, you can go and there's just little signs that say, hey, shut the gate behind you. And you can walk all of these random paths. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you just gotta, be thoughtful. Don't let the sheep out. Don't be a dick. But yeah, so you can walk right up to these stones. And there was, like, I'm pretty sure they were druid women, like, dressed in, like, old-timey stuff with, like, flower crowns doing, like, I don't know, seance circle. They were holding hands. I don't know what they were doing.
Actual live people there doing this.
Yeah. And it's like, I want to know, but I don't want to be creepy and embarrass my husband by asking you.
There you go.
So there's that.
Do you want to hear the Hungerford massacre real quick?
Yeah, let's do it. Tell me about it.
Sadly, this is just like Brooke said, like a weekly occurrence here.
Normal day in the U.S.
The Hungerford Massacre was a spree shooting in Hungerford, England, United Kingdom on 19th August 1987. Let me say that in American. That was August 19th, 1987.
Yeah. Why do their dates backwards, too?
I don't know. I'm sure
especially
it makes more,
on, like...
I guess it makes more sense.
But if it's
the month or the day.
But if the day is 12 or less, I get very confused. It, like, clearly if it's, like, the 19th, you can tell. Yeah. But if it's, like, the 3rd.
Yeah.
It's like, is it March 3rd or is it, like...
3, yeah, that would get a bit much.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
Well, this guy, Michael Ryan, 27-year-old, shot and killed 16 people.
Oh.
16?
Yeah, including an unarmed police officer and
What
his
a
own
dick.
mother.
Why is he unarmed?
And his own mother.
Because guns, a lot of times their officers don't even have guns. Like it's
because they have strict enough gun control that this stuff is there. It's it hardly ever happens. School shootings hardly ever happen.
That's why this was such a big deal. Like, oh my God. It's like if somebody, like here, if they killed 1,000 people with a rocket launcher. Not that many people were killing people with rocket launchers. I'd be like, hey, that's crazy.
That would be a big deal.
That's the only thing I can think of. Okay. So yeah, it occurred at several locations, including a school. I don't need to keep talking about this.
It sucked. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's pointless. But
That's what
that's what they're known for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but like these people were so nice, and then we got to our Airbnb, and the lady knew that we were going to go to that castle for Downton Abbey, and she was working at like a consignment bookstore, so she found this like Downton Abbey book that has all of the etiquette and stuff in it, and like it's so cool, and she like gifted that to me.
Oh,
because like in the Airbnb thing, we were like chatting it up.
Mm-hmm.
She was so nice, and then the next morning she made us breakfast,
and
then her daughter had a doctor's appointment, so she's like, talking to us all through breakfast. Oh, well, we gotta go to this doctor's appointment. When you finish up, don't worry about, like, doing dishes. Because she's like, in the 5 minutes that I talked to her, she's like, I know you're gonna try to help. And I know you're gonna rinse them off. Don't. Just leave them and lock the door. So, like, she left us in their house. And said, just lock the door and put it through the mail slot.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a lot of trust for somebody you just met.
No kidding.
Yeah. But, like, yeah, she was so cool. She's super cool. And then we went to Highclere Castle, which they were closed for, like, some festival that they were setting up for. Mm-hmm. So what did we do? We went to a pub nearby. It was like, hey, server, tell me where I can go to just
you guys
see it.
Are like pretending to be in Dungeons and Dragons, and let's go to the village and go to the pub and see.
I mean, I feel like we would be pretty good. I haven't, but I feel like I would be amazing at it.
For you.
No.
Yeah. So you like go to usually, and this is.
Do you have a game going on right now?
I do not.
Okay.
But yeah, usually you're like, oh, let's just go to the village. Basically, you go to the pub and you find out what's going on.
So
you get
like,
these assignments.
Have you seen Oh, what's it called? It's some movie. It's a Disney movie. It came out like right in the middle of COVID. It has like all these elves and stuff, but it's basically like a kid version of Dungeons and Dragons
with elves.
So it's like their world is modernized, but it's like there are elves, there are witches, there's trolls, there's unicorns, there's all these like magical beings.
Yeah. And
then like, magic doesn't happen anymore because we figured out electricity and things that are a little bit more,
Onward?
Yes!
Oh,
yes!
yeah.
It's so good.
I am Disney Plus out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So my kids, like, I don't know the real name of the movie because my kids just call it The Manticore. Like, I want to watch The Manticore because that's, like, where their quest starts. It's like, everybody knows you go see The Manticore at her pub. Right. And then, Anyways.
Yeah. So there you go. So you guys are there. You go to the pub. Yeah, and then what happens?
It's like, hey, I really like the show. Just want to look at the castle since we can't tour it or anything. Where should we go? And she's like, it's called Beacon Hill, right? You go like down this road, turn this thing. There's a public access that you can park, and then there's a little path that takes you up the hill. And first off,
you can get to the castle.
You can't get to the castle, but you can get to a higher vantage point that you can see the like. You know how in like the beginning of Downton Abbey, you can see like. They took a drone and they did the video of it. Like it looks like that.
Did you play the music while you were standing
there? No, I didn't. But that's actually where we found other Americans. They hiked that hill too to look at the castle. And it's like, oh hey, how's it going? And they had the same accent. We're like, wait, where are you from?
They're probably like right down the road.
No, they were from New York, I think. Yeah. So
and they're like, are you from Jersey?
Right.
Like, you know
I
me.
do
I'm
love
from
some
Jersey.
Vietnam. No.
That is a good jersey. You do have a good jersey. That's more, yeah. That's Jersey Shore.
Oh, I was gonna
say parties here. Say parties here.
Parties here.
Parties here. I don't know. I've never seen the show, so I can't.
You've never seen the show.
I don't think you've heard the episodes where I'm a poor white child.
Yes, like as an adult, you gotta catch up.
Apparently,
I
still don't you gotta start keeping up with the Kardashians. Oh hell no!
You got to start episode 1, I think, if you're really gonna. Don't you feel watch these people grow?
Yeah, I mean,
I'd rather just rewatch Schitt's Creek over and over and over again.
This is real people.
Yeah. Your mom. So your mom's been watching Love is Blind. Is that what it is?
Yeah. And by your mom, it's like Sarah's mom. Or
Sarah.
Yeah.
My wife, your mom.
Brooke's mom. Yeah. Not my mom.
Your mom.
My mom still doesn't have cable and is still on PBS, so.
So Love
is Blind.
What she likes. Let's see. Okay. Oh yeah. They start
the
off.
The reunion.
Everybody's in a pod.
Yeah, I only watched.
They can't even see each other. I didn't watch the first episodes, but this is what I get on the recaps. Mm-hmm. They're all in these pods where their own separate pods. They can just talk with people. And from that, they choose somebody to marry.
Yeah.
They ask them to marry.
The first time they see them, right, is when they're walking down the aisle, and then they have to decide.
No. Then they come out of the pods and they live. They probably do a getaway or something. I don't know.
Oh.
But then they live at a
I think that is
together?
like what 90-day fiance or something.
Maybe I don't know.
It's something like that. It's all condensed within like a few weeks.
Okay.
But they're living together, and then they go walk the aisle, and then that's basically when it comes down to the I do's. Do you say I do? And
do some people actually get up there and be like, hell no?
I've only seen 2 outcomes. I think both of them.
Hell no.
The first one, the girl said yes. The guy. Did you watch him?
I watched just the first season.
His big stupid face. I hate his face.
But
I don't know.
See, I've only watched the first season.
Oh, there's more than one.
So is it like one dude and a whole bunch of girls, like Bachelor style?
It's like a bunch of girls, a bunch of guys, and then they switch. They take turns talking to each other.
Well, what if everybody chooses the same dude? Like, what if all the girls choose the same dude? Like,
they propose basically in the pods without seeing each other, and that person says yes. Now they're paired.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't like it.
But
it's fake. It seems real fake.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. Okay. Yeah. Well, sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, let's go back to your travels.
I mean,
have we gotten you back to America yet, or are we still?
I mean, basically, then we
Stonehenge?
just flew back to Dublin, and then we went. This is kind of funny. We went in Dublin. They have this drink. I can't remember what it's called, but it's Guinness, and then they do like a shot of like black currant liqueur in it, or like I think here they'll do like raspberry, like the Chambord or whatever. But like it's like black velvet or something. I don't know. But so Eric really wanted to try it. I just wanted a Guinness because it does taste better over there than it does here.
I bet it does.
And
here it almost tastes kind of not flat, but I mean like the taste is...
Yeah. What's weird over there is they have tabs too that are like regular, and then they have extra cold, probably for the Americans.
Right.
So... But, so Eric ordered one of those drinks with the raspberry in it, and the guy's like, what are you, a fairy? Or, you know, he like gave her a really hard time, and Eric got embarrassed, and he was like, but I'm just taking regular Guinness. I was like,
he's like, could I have a sip of yours?
No, well, I just had a normal Guinness. Like, I didn't have that.
You got the normal, then he got the other.
Eric, do you want me to order one of those for you? But that's what's so cool over there is you can order half pints. And I mean, it kind of sounds like a pussy thing to do. But it's like, if you've had like 2 already and you just want a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way to do it. And at 9 Irish, you can get half pints too.
Okay.
Because they're like, they try to do things as close to over there as possible.
Yeah. I like 9 Irish. That's my favorite.
Yeah,
my favorite
my
restaurant.
least favorite.
I know.
I like it for like the bar stuff. Because that's another one. If you sit at the bar, like if they aren't part of the family, they've all been to Ireland. Mm-hmm. Or like if they've worked there long enough, they'll do like an annual or biannual trip. Like every other year trip.
Yeah.
And so like they've been there, they know stuff, so you can like reminisce a little bit.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And I think, so we actually went to 9 Irish the day before I found out that I was pregnant with Isaac. And we were like, oh, you know, we've been trying for so long, and it's such a pain in the butt, and kids suck, and I can't get pregnant, this is dumb. Yeah. And it's like, well, even if I was pregnant, how often do you actually serve women who are? Because when I used to be a server in college, I remember I served this wedding, and we had to, like, butler pass, like, champagne, right?
Yeah.
And this pregnant lady, she was, like, probably 7 or 8 months. She was very, like, obviously pregnant. And she probably took, like, 4 or 5 champagnes from me, took a couple from some other people, and then they did wine service at dinner. And I asked their server, and she's like, yeah, she took and drank the wine.
Oh, my God.
So this lady got, like, wasted, right? And, you know, I'm not going to judge if it's just one, but I did judge her a little bit. But
I mean, you're putting yourself out there to be judged if you're doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like
away.
she was, like, trying to wear something to cover it. She was in, like, a bodycon dress, and it was very, like, out there.
Yeah.
I hope
but yeah.
the baby's okay.
I know. But so, like, I started the conversation with the bartender. I was asking him, he's like, oh, yeah, if you wanted to come and order, like, a beer, I would totally serve you. I don't care. And, you know, Guinness is really good for the iron. And
yeah.
Saying, because that's what they say, like, it's so good for pregnant women. And then the next day I found out that I was pregnant, and then I was too much of a wimp to go back and actually order from it. So.
I do like a Guinness for, all the time, actually.
Yeah.
So, I would like to taste an Irish one.
Yeah, that's good. You should do that.
I pretend like I have Irish in me. I don't think there's any.
I think we grew up in my family. We're like, oh, we're totally from Ireland. Like, my mom's maiden name is Daly. So it's like, oh, it's like the Irish of the Irish names, like very Irish. And then I think my aunt got one of those like 21andMe swabs done. It was like, no Irish.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like, our life is a lie. What are we? It's like, we're French, bitch. Like,
yep, I think mine's gonna be French, British.
Yeah.
No Irish, I bet.
It's like,
I still need to do it. We'll see. But I relate more to the whole Irish, the whole thing they got going there.
So growing up thinking that we were Irish the whole time, and then I also grew up Catholic, it's like I have a very like strong connection to that. Have you seen Dairy Girls on Netflix?
We've talked about it. I've seen bits and pieces of episodes.
Okay.
It's funny.
Like I think there's 3 seasons, and then they tie it up. They don't continue it after that. But it's based in like the 90s when all of the stuff was going on in Northern Ireland with the Catholics and the Protestants. So it's really interesting, and it's from the Catholic point of view. And there's so many like Catholic jokes through it. It just makes you giggle.
Yeah.
But like I think if you're not Catholic, you'll still find a lot of it funny. You might just not pick up on every joke.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to think. I started to watch it the other day.
oh, you did?
I can't remember anything about it.
That's fine.
I have not seen it either.
Yeah, that's good.
That's like it's one of my shows that I'll watch in the background if Eric's not around because Eric did not grow up Catholic, does not care.
What?
Probably hates anything to do with the Pope. So
Oh man, going on to what have we been watching? Have you been watching anything, Brooke?
No, I don't get to watch anything because I'm either watching Disney or basketball.
Either so one of your two kids.
Yeah. My two children, Ari and Kian.
Well, that's too bad.
I did
So sorry for
finish the newest season of You, finally.
Okay.
So
I feel like every season I just get more and more pissed at that show. Like
yeah,
it's
More
like
pissed at
this
him?
last one
No.
has really threw me off.
It's like- like the last two girls that he's into, like they're in on it.
They're
Love.
in on.
Yeah, on the
yeah.
murdery stuff.
Love
Oh.
was a psycho.
Yeah, total psycho.
Yeah.
And then this new one is like, well, she's pretty cold, but she's like, I don't know.
Oh, you know what I've been watching? Here's what I
are
knew
you
I was
watching?
watching something. Jury Duty. Have you seen that yet?
I've seen bits and pieces.
Did we talk about this last
We
week?
have not.
Okay.
I've seen like ads on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh,
It's got-
it's good.
Jason Marsden in it, right?
If that's his name.
I saw like a clip of one guy that had like this device on that was I think
Yeah.
crutches on his butt, so he couldn't sit down all the way. And then the judge was like, "Oh, you have to take those off."
Yeah.
Well, can I get a little privacy because I have to take my pants off a little bit? He's like, "Oh, just go stand in the corner." And it's like, what?
He's got his coat over his head. Meanwhile, you can see his whole backside as he's taking everything off. So here's the premise. It's all fake, except one person doesn't know it. One person on the jury thinks it's all real and thinks he is actually sitting on a jury that's been sequestered. And
Yeah.
now they're like basically, just together for 2
Is
or
it
3
like
weeks.
an act like he doesn't know, or does he actually not?
He
know?
has no idea.
Okay.
He thinks
like a
he
real life
is
person,
serving
and
on a jury.
everyone else is like actors and actresses.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And they must have picked like he's a really nice guy. He's very empathetic because they set up these scenarios where the trial itself is probably like 15% of the show. The rest of it is like his interactions with the other jury members and they'll like come to him with their problems and stuff, and he's always so willing to help them out. It's hilarious.
I wonder if
he's
they have,
really
like-
putting himself out there.
Was there a part of the show where they did actual like jury selection?
Yeah,
Did
they did the whole thing. Yeah.
Did they have like 15 people who had no idea, and then they picked like?
Oh, they
the
were all
most-
actors. Yeah.
Okay, so it was only the one guy from the get go. Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious, like how they found that one guy.
Oh,
That would be-
yeah. I don't know how they would cast somebody without them knowing.
That's why I
Unless
was thinking,
they
like
cast
if
him
they
for
did,
something else, he didn't get it. You know
and they
what I
got
mean?
jury duty.
And then they're
Couldn't
like,
they just send him a fake jury duty?
well, they
probably
could, but what
did.
I'm thinking is like, how do they know who they're going to pick?
Yeah, they have to like know the person kind of well.
My guess
but then
is-
it's like you can't know one of the other actors, right?
Well, here's my thought. Maybe he auditioned for something else. Maybe he,
so
or they
potentially
did a
still
fake,
an
like-
actor.
yeah, maybe they faked a job interview or something. I don't know until they found the right person that they were like, this guy
Yeah.
is the guy.
Maybe someone signed him up for it.
Maybe somebody signed him up. I don't know.
Kevin Bacon rule, a friend of a
That's a
friend of
whole
friend.
other Google. This is why we need a producer to Google search for us.
Yeah, well.
Fact checker Brooke.
Yep.
Do
So
some research, right?
it's hilarious though.
Okay.
Yeah. He. I'm trying to think of one in particular, but so there's an actor on there, like a real actor that he would know of. You said his name,
Jason Marsden.
Jason Marsden, which he's
James Marsden. not
James
Jason.
Marsden. You would know his face.
He was in Enchanted. He's like the prince in Enchanted.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
Okay, there we go. I
It's
knew
like,
you'd do it. Yeah,
you
well
know,
done.
27 Dresses.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's in a
Oh, sorry.
new show with
He was in Dead to Me. Yeah.
I know
But he gets off, like, pretty early on, so.
His twin.
Oh,
that's right. His twin comes back.
I forgot about that.
So still him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ugh, good, because you can't kill that guy off.
But this guy's so, like, honest, too. There was, when he first met James Murder, however you pronounce his last name. So, James, he's playing himself, but he's also playing himself as this arrogant, cocky actor. So he's overplaying that.
He's an actor, but
he's also
a dick of an actor.
And just into himself.
I'm a prominent public figure. Is that what he says?
And so
or recognizable.
When he first meets him, like, they're talking, and the guy's like, would I have seen you in anything? And he mentioned Sonic. He was in Sonic the Hedgehog. And our guy who doesn't know what's going on, he's like, oh yeah, I heard that wasn't very good. And he just says it, without thinking. And then, but he's such a nice guy, he goes home and watches it. And then the next day he comes back, he's like, I watched it, I apologize, that's a really good movie. Aww. You didn't tell me, and he named another actor. He's like, you didn't tell me Ben Schwartz was in it. I love Ben Schwartz. And the guy...
Do you think you can get me a meeting with him?
And James is like, oh, yeah, he's good. So it's so good. And then, and they said, like, he would accidentally set them up for things that were scripted that they wanted to get in. So, like, one of the other jurors, this is when the jury selection process, they wanted to get out of it. And they had already pre-written, or that's called scripted. They had already scripted that he was going to say, I'm racist. Like, use that as an excuse. Mm-hmm. And, but before he could even say that, our guy who, didn't know what was going on, he's like, I was watching an episode of Family Guy, and he said that he was racist in that to get out of jury duty. And so they used it, and then it just made it funnier because then when he got in trouble by the judge is like, are you seriously racist? And the kid's like, no, I'm not. Yeah. He's like, why would you say that? Somebody told me to say it. And our guy's sitting there like,
that's so great.
But anyway, that's
what is this on?
It's on Netflix? Amazon.
Okay.
And it comes out on Fridays. So it's got me waiting for the next one.
That's like the last season of Ted Lasso right now. It's like, you can't give me all of them. This is some bullshit. But I think I'm behind actually right now. So
you're Ted Lasso.
Yes.
You like it? I like it, but after a few episodes,
I really liked the first season the best because it's like nobody knew him and they were expecting him to fail, and then he's just like goofy and you can't get him down, and it was my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, basically, is every episode like him just able to get through some shit with his happy, go lucky, positive attitude?
Kind of, but I think season 2 it starts that he has panic attacks, and so it goes through kind of like a mental health cycle.
Yeah, because he's repressing all those.
Yeah.
So
he's going through a divorce. Yeah, so he's going through a divorce. His family still lives in the States, and he's in England, and talks about how hard that is.
Yeah,
and then the third season. I don't know.
Are you gonna cry talking about this? Seems
no.
Like it.
Do you think I'm going to cry?
I
already had a good cry before you came in today. So.
Did you?
Yeah, me and Brooke had a heart to heart. It was sweet.
Aww.
We did.
You're like, yay!
Yay! No, this is more like, yay! I'm glad I missed it.
I know. It's like you walked in, I was like, oh, thank God. But
I had to get the Kleenex. That was basically a paper towel.
Sandpaper.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I had it recording at the time. You guys didn't know.
You did not.
I did not.
No, you're so full of shit. Oh, but I have I don't know if you know this, but I moved. Right?
What?
I know. So, now that we're in Dayton, which is basically a tiny town swallowed up by Lafayette, right? Mm-hmm. So it doesn't have a downtown, but it still has its own post office, and it has an elementary school and a couple little things. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they're trying to make it an adorable mini Midwestern town.
Yeah.
And I'm okay, I feel like we need to lean into this a little bit more. We need to get a brewery out here. We need to get a bookstore. We need to do all of these things. We need to make it more walkable. And it's in my head, I'm the new mayor of Dayton. And it's I don't have enough money to do all this stuff. It's like, I need to snatch up all the little houses and fix them up and make them really adorable. So this is like a mini Splendidville.
You join the council.
I don't want to join.
Because they probably don't have a mayor, do they?
They do. They do. He's kind of a dick. So,
Well, there you go.
I did that one on purpose, though.
Yeah. And that could be your slogan.
We have a mayor.
Sydney,
He's kind
vote
of a
for
dick.
me. The other guy's a dick.
I saw those.
And then a picture of your face. You look at us like this.
Okay.
What
are we voting for?
Yeah,
I
am
think
missing something?
I actually.
Well, the midterms coming up.
Well, I went. I had a closing downtown this week, and I saw like picketers, and they had signs that were like "taxation is stealing." So it's like it was tax day. I wonder if there's something.
Well, I saw a big sign in downtown. So it was like, vote here, vote. I'm like, what are we voting for?
Right, I've been out of the loop.
Why didn't you tell me? Yeah.
Gosh, I tell you, ever since like, we all got swept up in it in like 21, 22. Mm-hmm. Ever since then, I'm just like, enough. I haven't paid attention to any of it. Like I was I on like, no, it wasn't city council, student council.
I was also.
It's been a while.
What the hell was it? School.
Actually.
I was a council member for the school board. There we go. School board. And like ran for some other stuff. I don't know.
That's a lot of work.
I know.
I recall you doing all that.
Yeah, doing that stuff. And then, when I did work for the city, that was sucked. But
yeah.
But always like involved kind of on the outskirts politically,
Like I want to be involved, but I don't want to do anything.
I want to be involved, but
and
something about this
bad.
I hate. And it just to where the hate part
it's
over.
Like the other people just kind of suck.
I know. They do. There are some people that do some good stuff. And it does help when you have like people at the top who have good intentions. But my God, it takes what it takes to like survive and thrive in that. That's not somebody that I think I could turn into.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, I think that's why we've probably had the same mayor for like forever.
Yeah, the dick.
Is he?
Oh, you mean here?
Lafayette.
No, not.
No. I'm
right.
not talking about the mayor of Dayton.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah.
See,
all right. Anybody else we can offend before we wrap this up?
Let's see.
Pedro Pascal. We were talking about him.
Oh yeah, we were talking about
started?
that before. Yeah, I think that was before.
Yeah, and
so
I said
and
here we are.
I think that
hour.
Chris looks like a hippie version of Pedro Pascal.
I like it.
Yeah. So, and I think it's because the teeth. I think you have the same nose.
Wait.
too.
How about this?
Oh, because you're eating.
That's that meme.
Yeah.
That.
It's a GIF because he's moving.
Oh,
so
sorry. GIF.
Chill.
Oh,
Sorry.
Is that the difference? Thank you.
A meme is a still shot
with words. No.
words, and a GIF is like a moving thing.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I'm glad I know that now.
Ah! Just bitch slap that thing, Brooke. Get out of my way.
Mic drop.
Literally, yeah. But, so Chris is the. I was gonna say the male version of Pedro Pascal.
I'll take that too, I guess.
But
I'd rather be that version.
There's some like interview videos that I've heard of him. It's like, what do you think of people like having fan pages and stuff? And he's like, I'm pretty good with it. I don't blame him. It's like it's totally the same kind of jokes that I feel like you would plant.
My
like
little embarrassed dad jokes.
Yeah. It's like the same type.
Well,
so
let's
guys,
end on that. No.
If you are afeared of any kind of zombies, go to Chris's house.
Yeah.
He actually in real life won't protect you, but at least he looks Pedro Pascal enough that maybe he will.
I have a moat behind the house, and it's fully.
It's called
I do think my house would be. I do think my house would be a pretty good lockdown. Because we're like center of the neighborhood. So as long as, I've got
and
like
you have the 2 stories, so we have a vantage point.
2-story.
You have a basement, so we have storage.
Yeah. And you can get out onto the roof easy enough from the upstairs.
Okay.
I can make a crow's nest too, just poke a hole in the roof. But as long as I could get the rest of the neighbors to not turn on me, because I am the center of the neighborhood, so I got a good buffer. Yeah. So if I can keep everybody happy, then I'm protected.
So
just by their bodies.
They'd
have to get through
around COVID, my dad started talking about like prepping, kind of. And he's like, well, I was thinking about doing solar panels, but I can't do solar panels because once somebody overthrows the government, everybody's going to know that we're self-sufficient and is going to try to steal them. I'm like, what? It's like they can't know that we know.
Yeah. I guess you got to cover them up with a tarp.
Well, doesn't that defeat the purpose?
Yes, it does. All right, we should wrap this up.
Yeah, we probably should.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All
but
right.
Guess what? I ordered stickers, so we're going to have stickers coming up. So if you want a sticker mailed to you, you can just either send me a message on Instagram or at homeslicepod, or you can email us at thehomeslicepod@gmail.com. Tell us, give us more feedback of how wonderful or terrible our accents are. Fact check us if you want.
Probably a good idea.
Just don't sue us, please.
Right.
We don't have that in the budget.
Or take offense to anything? How about
yeah.
that?
We also haven't actually started the Patreon because that was more of a joke. But
hey,
let us know if you're interested.
We can make
you
shirts
want
as well.
to do that. Yep, we're gonna start making some shirts, maybe some merch.
I think we should.
Do you
charge
have a coffee
for that.
mug press?
I don't have that one yet.
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 Keyword. We can make it a business expense.
You
can write it
have
off.
a business card though.
So yeah, there's gonna be some merch.
Yep.
We're gonna.
But yeah, so for right now, we definitely have stickers. They should be here, I think, next week. So
awesome.
send me your address. I can send you a sticker or two.
Bling.
Boom.
Bada. Boom.
Bada boom.
Bada
Okay,
boom.
that's all I had. Like, I feel like I ended on like not where I should have. But anyway.
No, that was perfect. Contact us for some merch.
Yeah, we're kind of a big
We're
deal. We're kind of a big deal. I'm pretty sure if you stick that sticker anywhere, they're going to be like, Home Slice, what the fuck is that? They're going to think that we're a pizza place. But that's fine.
Yeah. That's
Maybe that's the whole point. They'll search us and they'll find us and they'll be like, oh, this is actually like, ear massages.
You did
happening.
talk about pizza in this episode.
Did I?
Yeah.
The Italian
Best pizza ever.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
All right, we're going to end this.
All right.
Home
Slice! Good night!
All right, stop recording.